Welcome to Sports Life Talk.
Hey,
Cause this is Sports Life Talk.
hey,
You rock it with Sports Life Talk.
Life Talk.
Hot topics with Sports Life Talk.
Come on.
So come and get you some Sports Life Talk.
Life.
They let us in the game, now we calling the shots. Things will never be the same, so forget what you thought. Cause life without sports ain't nothing but talk. Here we go now, finally a show that makes your heart pound. Profound, wonder what's running up through your thoughts now. About to drown our podcasts that be watered down. Tell them clowns it's a new era, and it's starting now. 5 total strangers, the 5 Power Rangers, approaching Sports Life Talk from 5 different angles. Get ready for the change up. We done turned the flame up. The topics that we bring up, we about to blow this thing up. Yeah, let's get it cracking. KT the head coach and Miss Manhattan. Gemini Jones holds the throne, she be calling them out. Mr. United Surgeon B. Jones, the mouth of the South. From the cover athlete to the heat of the week, we got what you need. We dropping what's hot in the streets, from copping new sneaks to locals popping, doing big things. When gossip and tea, let Kimberly pull you a dream. Sports Life Talk, who is them? Went from not listening and now you're tuning in. If you're feeling what you're hearing, tell a friend, tell a friend. Thank you for listening, let the show begin. Sports Life Talk, who is them? Went from not listening and now you're tuning in. If you're feeling what you're hearing, tell a friend, tell a friend. Thank you for listening, now let the show begin.
Let's go.
Hey. Welcome to another episode of Sports Life Talk, where life without sports is just talk. It is Wednesday, January 27th, and right now you just have 4 of the Power Rangers with you this evening. The 5th one is having some technical difficulties, so she will be joining us here shortly. But let me go ahead with some introductions. We have over to that side. Wait, why do I never get this right?
Just remember, it's always the opposite side. You don't know left from right anyway, so it don't matter.
Shut up. We have Coach KT Ed Reed over here rocking the Kansas City Chiefs colors.
What's good, world?
And then, of course, we have Mr. United Surge down there, a.k.a. Baby Russell Wilson.
Yes, sir. You know, I might have to change it up this weekend. We'll see. We'll see how it looks next week.
All right. And then, of course, we have B. Jones, the mouth of the South, Mr. Yeet himself. How are you guys doing tonight? Everybody good?
Yeah, we doing good, man. We ready to rock and roll.
All right. And, of course, I am your favorite Gemini, repping Detroit tonight.
Why? Why are you representing Detroit? Just curious.
Because I like this hat.
Okay.
Is that on this side of 8 Mile or the other side of 8 Mile?
Both sides.
So basically, you in love with the D. That's Detroit. I'm just saying. Oh yeah, it's Detroit.
Detroit is regular D and Dallas is
big D. You in love with the little D.
We probably want to move on. What we probably want to do.
God, I hope my mom ain't listening. Mama, I don't know what he's talking about.
We're talking about Detroit.
Okay. This is episode 79, and it is into our cover athlete of the week is Rosey Brown. And so this episode is called Roses. I don't know who came up with that, but one of y'all did. There we go.
Hey. Am I still messed up, or what's up, y'all?
Very good.
You're good.
Yeah, you good, girl. You
Technical
good.
issues resolved.
Yes. There's KD, Miss Manhattan down there. Y'all say hey.
Hey, y'all. Hey.
All right. So you're just in time. We were just speaking about the cover athlete, Rosey Brown. So KD, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Oh, she ain't ready.
Hall of Fame offensive lineman Rosey Brown was drafted in 1953 by the New York Giants after being named to the Pittsburgh Couriers 1952 Black All-American team. Over his career, Brown received all NFL team honors for 8 consecutive years, with a 9-time Pro Bowl selection, and helped the Giants win a championship in 1956. Maybe I should have thought about this before I picked him, helping the Giants win. Brown was named to the 1950 All-Decade team and the NFL's 75th All-Anniversary team.
That's it?
I cut it off, didn't that was it. You be up on it. This Rosey.
Thank you, KT. You know, I was having technical difficulties, so everything shut down. So Thank you for having the cover athlete for me.
You know, that's 2 weeks in a row. You know me.
Teamwork.
That's
This is
2 weeks.
the third week. The third week in a row.
Golly.
Hey, but you feeling better? You back?
I'll get to it when I present my drink of the week and tell y'all a little more about it.
All right. All right. Well, B. Jones, I know you have some trivia this week, and I think you have some interesting news for the listeners.
Well, I'm not gonna say interesting, but before I get into the news or to the trivia, I want to acknowledge that back in my day, I used to wear number 79. So I've been waiting for this episode. I should have put on the old middle school jersey. It just probably would have been young. Might not have been a pretty sight, but should have rocked that thing. No. Right. So as Pam mentioned, we are going to up the ante a little bit since we haven't had a win in the last few weeks. I got a new proposition I think will be a tasty one. So last Sunday after the championship game, Serge, Kevin, and myself, we came on live and we started the participation report, which is SLT's live version of the after show, which we include you, the fans, and we allow y'all to come on the show. So for the person that gets this right, not only will you get a Sports Life Talk t-shirt, but you will also get a guest host spot, which you could be on the post-game report with us after the Super Bowl for the entire show. Do y'all think that'll be fun? We put somebody on there with us?
All right.
Do it, man.
All right. So for all of the marbles, this is kind of an easy one, but it's going to take a little bit of work. All right. Considered the biggest draft in the biggest steal in draft history, Rosey Brown was selected with the 321st pick. So in that draft class, what Hall of Fame coach was drafted in the 20th round in the same year as Rosey Brown? All right. What Hall of Fame coach was drafted in the same class as Rosey Brown? Get the first person to go to sportslifetalk.com and get that question right. And you, my friend, will earn a spot to do the participation report with us after our super spectacular Super Bowl episode. All right.
Yeah, and if you get the answer, Google me and let me know. Just DM me because I sure know the hell that is. All right.
All right, y'all. So it is time for some local life. KT, who is your local athlete this week?
You know what? This week, we're going to go a different route. So we got forward South Hill senior, Crystal Sandoval. She scored a 100 career goal with the program during the Eagle Mountain Saginaw soccer shout-out on Thursday. Good Lord, that was a tongue twister. Salvador accomplished a milestone on a penalty kick in a 1-1 tie against LD Bell. She becomes the third player in program history to hit 100 career goals behind national leader Esme Gonzalez, who has 316, and 2020 graduate Johanna Rodriguez. So shout out to Crystal for being our local athlete of the week.
Wow.
All right, that is so awesome. Go Crystal, girl power. All right, so who has the local business for this week?
You know what? I don't think anybody has one. So what I'm going to do, if you see my Sports Life Talk hat, I got a black one and now I have a red one. It's from a shop in Corsicana called Custom Tees. So they can make any kind of shirt, hat, anything you want. So shout out to them. And I'll be going back at the end of the month so I can get a Florida Gators Sports Life Talk hat as well.
So when were you going to tell us this?
I told y'all with the black hat a long time ago, and the red one is, hey, how y'all doing? Let's move on.
I mean, I want a hat.
I want a hat.
I want a sweatshirt.
I want
a sweatshirt.
Holla at Anna. Why's everybody trying to pile up on me? B. Jones, where you at? Help a brother.
Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah.
It is Super Bowl week, man. So
hey, KD come back and y'all don't know how to act. I don't understand.
Yeah, I got my partner in crime with me. All right, so it's time for the toast. KD, I'm a little hurt because I don't have the drink of the week ready right now. So
okay, so the truth behind the not having a drink is I didn't feel very inspired. I have been so sick for the last 2 weeks, y'all. I haven't been able to eat. I haven't been able to drink. So I'm like, if I can't drink, then y'all can't drink, and we're just not drinking together.
Okay, so how about this? The drink of the week is Pepto-Bismol. That's what it is.
Drink of the week is water.
Right.
No.
Hey, you could have got away with the hot toddy though. The hot toddy, it's got alcohol in it, and
Yep.
it's for people not feeling well.
No, just the thought of a hot toddy just turns no. Mm-mm. But so I want to do a recap of the gin that we have been talking about since the end of last year, and that was the Plymouth gin. So I do recommend everybody going out and trying it. Also, refer back to our previous episodes to see what drinks that we made with the Plymouth gin. My favorite drink out of all of them, and I think it was Pam's favorite too. But it was I think it was called the Black 75, and it consisted of the Plymouth gin, simple syrup, Moet champagne, and what else did it have, Pam? I think blackberry. Yeah. So that was my favorite out of all the drinks that we made with this gin. And then I wanted to let everybody know that the drink of the month for February will be Douce. So if y'all want to grab a bottle.
That Douce is the best, if I do say so myself. So
I won't be drinking with y'all, but I promise that
I'll drink enough for both. Oh,
yeah.
Damn. I give up alcohol on Monday.
Oh, well, Pam won't be drinking, but so the guys, I have to make sure that I give the drinks to the guys and let them try it out for the month of February, since it is a short month. So yeah. And so my toast, I'm going to give my toast to the guys for the first week that I was out for holding the show down without me and Pam. And then last week, y'all did a great job. And then y'all had a Monday night special. So shout out to y'all and shout out to Pam. Oh, so there's my... Not a shout out.
We deserve that, y'all. We held it down like we always do.
That was fun, though. It was fun.
No, it was great.
Okay.
The Sunday night special was great for sure.
Who did I disagree with? I almost got into it with somebody live.
Everybody.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
All right, so it's time for the kickoff questions. So there were some very exciting games this past weekend. So legacies are on the line in 2 weeks. Of course, everyone knows that we have the young lamb, Patrick Mahomes, and then we have the old goat, Tom Brady, going head to head for Super Bowl 55, I believe.
55.
55, yes.
55,
I know my Roman numerals. All right. So of course, I paid attention.
Oh, is it the LV?
So which quarterback do you guys think has more on the line in this Super Bowl? So this is Tom Brady's 10th Super Bowl appearance. I'm about tired of him. And is he the GOAT of all GOATs, or is this Mahomes' one and only chance to prove he can pass Brady up eventually? So which one do you think it means more to? So, KD, what do you think?
So I definitely think Tom Brady, because he's older, I feel like it means more to him, and it's like, will it be his last season in football, for forever? But I do think that it would be dope if Mahomes were to win back to back. So I don't know, it's kind of tough to pick between the two because both of them have a point to prove.
Okay. All right. Serge, who you got? What you got?
Oof. Man, as much as I want to actually go with Mahomes too, I think just because I think he could lose and still be the GOAT one day, because I think he's always going to be in the running for Super Bowl contention as long as there's one or two receivers around on his team. He's always going to be right there because his skills doesn't seem like it can diminish the way he throws the ball and can run also outside the pocket. I'm only going to say Tom Brady only because I think it would prove a point to be able to go to another team this late in his career and win during a year where there was COVID and the pandemic. Training camp was different, and to go and win it in the first year and to also be the first team to host the Super Bowl in their own home stadium and win, and also potentially beat the team who only lost once all season. And also, I think everybody can agree that Patrick Mahomes is regarded the best quarterback in the league and also the defending Super Bowl champions. I think that would probably I already think he's the GOAT, so I don't think the GOAT status would change. I just think that it would just be just another thing on his, it's like going from gold to platinum. I mean, I just think that it's just going to be another part of his legacy. And there's a good chance that if he does win that he may walk away, but we'll see.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna leave B Jones for last. So KT, what you got?
Well, Brady is the GOAT, so we already know that. That's established, like Serge said. But he has more to prove, and it's because of the little rivalry between him and Coach Belichick. So now he has to prove that, hey, I can win it without him. Now, it takes Tom Brady to be the first one to get his team a home game in the Super Bowl. After leaving New England, going straight to the Bucs and taking this team to the Super Bowl.
The first year, right?
The first year. Tom freaking Brady.
He cheated.
He didn't cheat this year because he went to Washington, beat them. B. Jones Cup year. He went to the Saints, beat them. Went to Lambeau Field, beat them.
He cheated.
Well, hey, cheaters win.
Cheaters never win.
They win in this case.
B Jones, go ahead. Let him have it.
All right, so I'm going to go a different direction. I personally think the pressure is squarely on Patrick Mahomes. And let me tell you why. Because all of this little stuff that y'all talking about, if he loses, it'll be he would have had a chance to win Tampa a game at home, and Belichick, he wants to have this legacy of beating Belichick. At the end of the day, we won't talk about any of those things in 10 years from now. But what we will talk about in 10 years from now is when Patrick Mahomes has accumulated all of his rings, his career has been lovely. He's had all of these Pro Bowls, and he's a Hall of Famer already, first ballot. We will start talking and having some conversations about who is the GOAT of all GOATs. Patrick Mahomes, in order to establish himself as the GOAT of all GOATs, has to go through Tom Brady this weekend. Or next weekend, excuse me. If he loses this game and Tom Brady gets that seventh ring, or what is it? Is it 6 or 7 ring? I mean, it's going to be that 7th ring. It's going to be damn near impossible for any man with these new free agency rules to go after those types of records. And just for the record, this whole Tampa Bay, him playing the first game at home, there's only a handful of stadiums that can even host the Super Bowl. Keep in mind that cold weather stadiums like the New York, like the Patriots, they can never host a Super Bowl. I can guarantee you, if New England had the opportunity to host a Super Bowl, we would have already seen that type of feat accomplished in the past. So I'm gonna say this is strictly on Patrick Mahomes. He has a career. He has to stay healthy. He has to keep that team together, and it starts by winning a championship in round 2.
All right, I just want to know where the party at.
Shoot, on
Zoom.
Zoom party. Ain't nobody coming.
I can't. Who gonna put me a plate of hot wings outside and a little rotel dip and some meatballs? You know that's black folks.
Remember Thanksgiving? I had you a plate and your ass didn't show up, so I ain't got nothing for you.
She was full of greens.
Greens.
You know what? And with that, we are going to move on into some headlines. So, headline number 1. With Watson looking to pursue the trade market like James Harden in a few weeks, along with many more, it appears that players are starting to take more control of their destiny. Is giving players this much power best for the game and even the fans? Good question. Serge?
I think it's good for the fans, because I think when it comes to social media and just having debates and having discussions and things like that, I think it's great for the fans. But I don't agree with the fact that it's good for the game. I do think it starts diluting the product a little bit, where if guys are dictating where they go, then it's like, what's the point of signing a contract? It's a twofold thing, because obviously a team can trade you whenever they want, or they can cut you whenever they want. But at the same time, I think there's got to be some more in both collective bargaining agreements when the next time it comes up. I think in the NBA and the NFL, where there's more discussions about, like, if you request a trade, and not only do you request trade, but you actually request a trade to go to a specific team, then there should be some penalties for that, and vice versa. If you sign a contract and you're considered obviously a star player, then you should be able to put that in the contract that if a team trades me without really my consent, then there's some kind of incentive for me as well. So I think some of those discussions have to be had, because it does start diluting into where if you're just trying to go team up or, go to a better organization, even though it's not guaranteed, because it's a lot more difficult in the NFL. Just because you go join a great team doesn't automatically guarantee you a Super Bowl. I do think that it just sets a bad precedent, and will year after year after year, it's just like we're just going to be waiting for the next person to request a trade, and that's just not a good look, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. B. Jones, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't get me wrong. You've heard me numerous times on this show advocate for player control, and I feel like we're in a league that's majority African American talent or minority talent, where especially when we talk about the NBA and the NFL, and then you look at the leadership, it's majority Caucasians, even at the head coaching to GMs as well as in ownership. So I've always been one of those people that say, hey, we need to give these fans, we need to give the players more control. But as a fan of the game, as a person that loves to watch the game, I think the players are going to do what I expect them to do what's best for them, right? They're going to put themselves in a situation where they can play on championship teams. They're going to put themselves in a situation where they don't have to deal with cold weather or a team that's going to spend money to put more talent around them. Whatever that button that they want to push, they are going to do that. And that doesn't necessarily translate well for us as the fans, because we end up watching teams that are super teams, like especially in basketball. And Serge, you said it's good for the fans. Which fans? I know right now, if I'm a Houston fan, you got to hide the sharp objects from me. If I live in the city of Houston right now, I am livid. I just lost James Harden, which is a future Hall of Fame in basketball, and I could potentially lose Deshaun Watson, our two greatest players in the whole city. So when I look at what Kevin Durant did and going to the Warriors, and y'all gonna hear me rant, and I know I'm gonna get nasty letters after this. Let it go. But it was to be expected. If you get that much firepower on the team, they are naturally supposed to win. And to me, it takes the drama out when you watch an Orlando team versus a New Jersey Nets. It's not Brooklyn Nets. It's just not gonna be pretty. They don't stand a chance.
All right, KT, what you got?
Man, the NFL isn't set up for a player to really decide their fate until they're a free agent. I mean, it would be awesome if they could have the power like, NBA players, but it's not going to happen because it's, the NFL, you got Roger Goodell, you got owners, they're all in cahoots. They're trying to build a better product. And like they said, it's not good for the league if you have star players trying to force their way to other teams like the NBA. Now, I will say this. If Aaron Rodgers is able to force his way out of Green Bay, then everything changes. Game over.
But what, you want him to go to the Cowboys? Is that what you're saying?
Look here. If Aaron Rodgers and Jerry Jones get together and say, hey, we want to make it happen, could you imagine Aaron Rodgers with our receivers, if our offensive line is good, with Zeke and Pollard? Sign me up.
Man, he don't want to play for Mike McCarthy.
Oh, well, never mind. We got to get rid of Mike McCarthy first, then we're going to get Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, but the player control thing, listen, pay them more money. I think they should have a little bit more control, but I don't know. Maybe it shouldn't be with the team that they play on, Pam. Maybe they shouldn't have that much control. Maybe they need to get more control over their paychecks.
Okay. KD, what you got?
My opinion is similar to B. Jones. Like, it would be dope to have control over their own destiny, but I think we would see too many players like on super team, or what do y'all call them? Super teams? What y'all call them?
Super teams.
Yeah. So I mean, it would kind of be fun for some fans, but not all. So
it wouldn't be fun for me.
And we already seen the Philadelphia Eagles try that. Remember, they had the super team, and where did they get them?
They lost though. They got drove.
That's what I'm saying.
They had Kerry Washington husband was on that team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it kind of builds the anticipation the way it is now, because you don't know where people are gonna go. So yeah, I don't know.
All right. Good stuff, y'all. Good stuff. It's time for headline number 2. So both men are fighters. Both men are big characters. And both men are very great at what they do. But one is hated and one is so just adored by everybody. So why is it that Conor McGregor is made out, he's celebrated for his bad behavior, or he gets a pass, whereas Floyd Mayweather is always a villain? KT, what you got on that one?
You say KT or KD?
KT.
All right, so I'll admit I wasn't a Floyd fan because of his arrogance. But then once you sit back and just watch him box, he actually puts on boxing clinics. And I think a lot of people are holding, the domestic violence stuff against him, and which they should, because if you put your hands on a woman, then hey, we're going to hold it against you. But it's not fair that when Floyd, who's doing all the moving?
Oh, sorry. I'm not. Let me
Hey,
tell
you're
you.
fine.
I'm not a person. And then let me tell y'all, this dog over here is acting a fool. So I'm sorry.
No, I asked if I was B. Jones, I was going to talk crap to him, not you, KD. But it's funny that when Floyd does it, he's arrogant. But when Conor McGregor does it, we salute him. We praise him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think y'all know where I'm going.
Okay. Serge, what you got?
Yeah, and I think a lot of things what KT just said rings true. And I think for me, outside of even the domestic violence stuff, I think Floyd Mayweather, he probably doesn't obviously talk brash when there's interviews. He doesn't obviously during press conferences outside of when he had to do it for Conor McGregor's lead up, because he can't not say anything because Conor McGregor is going to keep talking otherwise. So I just think that it's people just see like how he, throws his money around, flaunts his money, shows off everything he has. Then I think also the fact that a lot of people do hold it against him, including me, to a certain degree, I guess, that he's also, dodged a lot of the big fights. He hasn't really fought, I guess, prominent, boxers who are at the very top elite in the division, even though I know that boxing is set up completely different with too many promoters being involved and them not, it's just too many hands in the pot trying to make the same money. Obviously, he should have fought Pacquiao many years ago and not when he did. Not saying that the outcome would have been any different, but I just think that it would have been a lot better for his career. And then as far as Conor goes, I think a lot of people were able to see when he was a nobody, made his way up, beat people in the first round. When he would say something, how he's going to beat somebody, and then he would get in the ring or in the octagon and actually do what he said he's going to do, people started really enjoying him for that particular thing. I think more recently we've started seeing, that obviously he hasn't had the same success, and he can't back up what he's saying. I think there are some fans who are really big Conor fans who've slowly started, the temperature in the room has came down on him and supporting him. So it's like, hey, if you keep talking like that, and then now you get reality checks when you step in the octagon, because that's a grown man sport. It's not like boxing where all you can do is punch. You can get kicked, you can get choked, you can get knocked upside your head. I mean, anything goes. And so, Conor McGregor still has a lot of time to prove, the doubters or people who don't like him wrong. But I do agree there is some sentiment of, where I do believe that there is a big part of race that plays a factor into, why there's favoritism towards Conor over Mayweather, even though sometimes they do behave the same way.
B. Jones.
Yeah, this is a very simple one. I don't even know how we try to make this one a difficult conversation. The fact of the matter is that Floyd Mayweather is perfect. And that is something that 99.9999999% of most men, women, children, dogs, cats will never see. This man went in and fought the best of the best. And whether Serge want to say it was too late in their prime or whatever, I can go through this man's resume from Shane Mosley to Zab Judah to Canelo Alvarez. I mean, you can go through a litany of fighters. And guess what? Mayweather, even Oscar De La Hoya. This man has probably defeated at least 10 Hall of Fame boxers on his resume. And the fact of the matter is he's came out clean. Whereas you look at the other side, then you got Conor McGregor, who he's brash, but Conor McGregor has taken L's. Even before he was a popular person, Conor McGregor went into the UFC at like 20, it was like, I don't know, like 19 and 2 or something like that. And lately we've shout out to Dustin Poirier, Louisiana, that boy from the state, holding Lafayette down. He went in there and beat him in a fast squad match. So I just think this comes down to a situation where most of us not only are they jealous of Floyd Mayweather, but they can never even come close to it. So it's part of that misery loves company mentality. We like, if Floyd had just, I bet you $10 Floyd would be a more loved person if he had an L. One L, then everybody be like, okay, he could be beat, but this is just showing you how great he is. Look at Tom Brady. He took L's. Michael Jordan took L's. Everybody, well, you know what? Jordan went 6 for 6 in finals, didn't he? Jordan never taken L. And a lot of people don't like Jordan either. So I just think it comes down to him being perfect, and that's something that most people can't duplicate.
It's not just about being perfect. Well, I do agree. Remember, we talked about this last week. Your actions off the court and whatever, and how people perceive you.
Yeah.
Can somebody tell me
Conor
about
McGregor got bad attitude off. Conor McGregor said some very racist things to Khabib and his family. So Conor McGregor off the field, out of the octagon behavior is not crystal clear.
No. We totally agree, but people still love him.
And the reason being is because he gets knocked the fuck out. He took some out.
Not all of it. That's not all. Just
no. I agree with KT. I don't think it's all of it, because when he does what he does outside of the ring, it's still in the context of what may happen in the ring, or he's talking about an opponent. Mayweather's doing stuff that are completely has nothing to do with boxing. I'm talking about when you go on his Instagram, you see all his throwing around his money.
What is Conor McGregor throwing stuff at that bus have to do?
It's still with the fight. It's still with the UFC. It's still with the fighter. It's still something to do with UFC. It has nothing to do with something that was going on outside of UFC. What I'm saying is, look, what Mayweather is doing. If you go, I mean, obviously the fact that he's got businesses and things like that, there does a part of jealousy does come in. But I think when you start talking about people who think like, man, you got all this money, like, why aren't you doing something positive with your money? Why aren't you helping out in the community? It starts looking like a bad look when it's like, it's Mayweather. We know you got money. We don't need you to show it to us that you got all this money. And I think it just starts rubbing people the wrong way, even though he's at liberty to do whatever the heck he wants with his money. He don't got to donate it to nobody if he doesn't want to. He takes care of a lot of people around his money team. So, it's just like people just don't get to see behind the scenes, but Floyd doesn't show the behind the scenes. His behind the scenes is like, what car should I take out this week? And that starts, that kind of starts building up as, okay, like your attitude. So that had nothing to do with boxing. It's money you made from boxing, but he's not talking about like Pacquiao. He's not talking about, any of these other boxers that he may fight against. And he's not talking bad about even, former boxers who he's not going to ever fight. So I just think it's the context is a little different, even though it should be treated equally. But that's just the world we live in, and how, people perceive certain things, and how social media posts, and how you can get behind it or how you can't support somebody.
Man, Conor McGregor is one L away from joining Ronda Rousey in the WWE. That's his future. The next L he takes, he's in WWE because he's done.
I think he's done already.
I don't think he's in WWE, but
one more knockout for him to be like, okay, Vince, Triple H, Stephanie, let's go.
All right, look. So we got something, the big game coming up. So Serge, give us your power, Serge, and let us know what your prediction is going to.
All right. So last week we had 15 people join. I was trying to make a, comeback there, but unfortunately I had already, by the time I submitted my lineup, I had already put Antonio Brown in my lineup, and obviously he didn't end up playing. And so that pretty much hurt me. And
what was your final score?
124.
Oh, you was in striking distance too, bro.
Yeah. So just because of that, I obviously didn't have a chance to, make myself be in the top. But Scoop did beat out KT. We have 3-time winner, Mr. Scoop, for the season. So congratulations to you. And obviously with the season coming down the line for the NFL, we will start tapping into more basketball going forward, starting next week. Actually, we'll probably wait till after the Super Bowl, but we will definitely be focusing on a lot of basketball. And hopefully, if there is a March Madness, we'll obviously start talking a little about NCAA basketball as well. And so with that being said, I know we obviously did the show right after, the Sunday football games, kind of gave our little predictions. I think I also when we were online gave the line on the game came out at 3.5 for the Chiefs with the over of 57 for total of the game. So far, I'm going with the Chiefs to win, but the Buccaneers to cover the spread. But I do believe it'll be a high-scoring game, and I do think it'll go into the 60s with both teams scoring into the 30s. And so taking the over, but taking the plus 3.5 on the Buccaneers, but the Chiefs are still pull it out. But maybe in a week, who knows? There's like I got this other voice in my head that's starting to tell me pick the Bucks, pick the Bucks, pick the Bucks. So who knows? Maybe by the time next Wednesday when I wake up, I might completely switch my pick. But as of this present moment, that is my pick. So KT, B Jones, KD, and Pam. I guess I'll start with KT. I guess I know we had briefly touched base on it. You obviously got your Chiefs colors on by default. So who you got for the big game in 10 days?
B Jones, who are you gonna pick? Because I'm gonna go opposite of you. That's what I'm gonna do. Because I don't like you when it comes to sports opinion. So whoever you go for,
he's picking the Saints.
Whoa. Okay,
You'll
now
be at home with him too.
I'm gonna go Chiefs. But if B Jones says Chiefs, I'm going. Look, no, I'm thinking the Chiefs.
All right. Well, I'm gonna tell you straight up.
What? Like Chiefs by 3, Chiefs by a touchdown.
I'm gonna go Chiefs by 10.
Chiefs by 10. Wow. And you think it'll go 57?
They're gonna all be down 7. He's gonna throw a pick. They're gonna go down, kick a field goal. 10 points. I don't know. I'm good. Put me on the spot. Yeah, 10 points.
Okay. B Jones?
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs by 17. And I don't think it's gonna be any close. Look, at the end of the day, that Buccaneers defense, everybody want to give Tom Brady these accolades, and Tom Brady took the Bucks. Tom Brady didn't take the Bucks. Bucks defense traveled and they went on the road against Washington. They went into the Superdome, and then they went into Green Bay, 3 very tough environments, and they were able to secure a win by playing good, hard-nosed defensive football. But at the end of the day, that defense is also ranked in the bottom half. I think it's ranked like number 24th or 25th in passing. 26. Aaron Rodgers, to his credit, threw for damn near 350 yards with 3 touchdowns. He had a hellified game, and if it wasn't for some sketchy refereeing calls, that thing could have easily went back to the Green Bay Packers. So I'm gonna say this: when you have to defend that offense with a healthy Clyde Edwards-Helaire, a healthy Le'Veon Bell, Darrell Williams, which is 2 out of those 3 are LSU players, and then you got all of those athletes, Mecole Hardman, and I mean, it's going to be talent coming from every single direction. I don't think that Buccaneers defense is going to be able to keep up with them. I may be wrong. I don't care if they're at home. I'm going to go look at what the Buccaneers have typically done at home this season, but I'm almost pretty sure that this thing is going to be throttle to throttle, and that's 60 minutes of hell. And I don't know anybody on that Buccaneers defense that can keep up with Tyreek Hill. Book it.
Pam?
Unfortunately,
you don't like Tom Brady, so that should be an automatic. You go with the Chiefs.
I don't know. I don't like Tom Brady, but unfortunately, I have a feeling.
Ooh, you got that feeling too.
I got that feeling that his ass is gonna pull it out. I got
that other voice in your head. Mm-hmm.
As much as I don't want to go that route, that's what my gut tells me right now. Now, again, I could change next week. I don't know what would change it for me, but I could change next week. So we'll ask this question again next week.
You got a drink in your hand. I'm pretty sure it'll change.
Yeah, probably will.
Mm-hmm. She won't be drinking next week, so it won't make it.
Oh yeah. She stopped drinking on Monday.
So I guess I'm gonna go with the opposite of so far. You haven't said, right, Serge, who you're going with?
No, I'm going with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going with the Chiefs. Okay, so I'm gonna go against the grain, and I'm gonna go with the Bucks and Tom Brady. And just because, like, I don't know, I would really like to see Mahomes win back to back. Oh, and Travis Kelce too, but I'm gonna go with Tom Brady, and I think. And then I think that they'll win by 3.
Okay. All right. I mean, I think everybody's made good points as to why, and I think this is probably going to be the most watched Super Bowl. I think we can all agree on that, especially during these COVID-19 quarantine time period. Sports bars aren't going to be filled as usual, so more people are going to be home watching these games. So excited to watch the game, excited to watch the weekend perform. And obviously, just like every other year, looking forward to the commercials too. So hopefully we have a great game. And obviously, if there's any stories between now and then, obviously we'll have media day next week. So I'm sure there should be some new storylines that's going to come out that'll get our show for next week, episode number 80, even more fired up. So looking forward to that. And that's all I got for our third week.
All right, y'all, then let's move on to the drop. This is where we drop the hottest new sneakers and the hottest new album, songs, artists, whatever this week. So, KD, did some new music come out this week?
So we have a little bit of new music. Young Dolph dropped Rich Slave. So y'all know that Drake hasn't dropped his CLB album, the Certified Lover Boy. It seems like his injury that he had during COVID kind of pressed that date back. So I'm still sad about that because I was really expecting it this month. But also, I forget, Valentine's Day is in February, so maybe it's going to drop for the ladies in February. So Division dropped an EP. It's called Amusing in Her Feelings. So it's like 4 additional songs to his album that dropped last year called Amuse in Her Feelings. So the few songs is kind of like what made him, it was like the vibe, the 4 songs, the new ones that he released set the vibe for the rest of the album. So he kind of just wanted to release something new for, we're all in quarantine, or some people are still in quarantine. So he just wanted to release some new music. Also, Ashanti and Keisha Cole had the verses last week. So Ashanti dropped a new single. It's called 235. And I think it's like, I Miss You. So it's like when you're missing old bae, at 2 o'clock in the morning. I think the song is just basically talking about what she would tell him. So
Ashanti, ooh, Lord.
Yeah. So did any of y'all watch the verses?
I mean, the half of it, hell, it was on the Ashanti for the majority of it, wasn't it?
No, it was. Well, you mean like in the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah. Keisha, I didn't know I tuned in about 8 something. I didn't know she was that late. I didn't know it was supposed to start at 7.
Yeah, it was supposed to start at 7. So supposedly the reason why she was so angry when she came on, when she finally showed up an hour and 15 minutes late, she was having issues with audio, like technical issues. So I guess the people that were there assisting her, she basically told them, I'm not coming out until y'all get everything together. So that's why she wasn't on screen during that time. She was like,
you didn't do a check, like,
right.
As much build up as it's been for this, you didn't want to do a check before, the day before, or the morning before, leave everything on, don't touch nothing. I mean, come on, Keisha.
I mean, you don't even have to be the one to do it. You could have somebody else do it for you.
Absolutely. It just made her look
like she didn't care.
Professional. I mean,
and then she came out with all of this attitude, and I was like, whoa, calm that down. Like, she wasn't even talking at first. Now, she did loosen up. Like, she did finally loosen up. But at first, I was like, okay, sis, all right.
They both looked amazing, but Keisha Cole's energy was like way off. So it wasn't. And the crazy thing about it too, y'all, they took a break. So after being late an hour and 15 minutes, they decided.
What got me was when they was arguing after the break on who was gonna go first. I'm like, somebody just play a damn song, okay?
No, Ashanti was like, I got it. It's my turn. Yes. Song. So shout out to Ashanti.
All right.
Yep. So that's all I got for new music. So B, what you got for the
Wait, coach. You keep forgetting the coach's groove.
Oh.
He got a song ready. What? He got a song in his heart.
So let's rewind. We got to rewind again.
We ain't riding. You ain't been here in 3 weeks. You just keep messing up. Hey, so in honor of
$5 fine.
I know. So in honor of the angriest late person in versus history, I'm going with Heaven Sent by Keisha Cole. And did y'all know? Did y'all know that it's a line about me in that song?
No.
What's the line? What's the line, Kev?
Just listen. I am. I want to be the one who you believe in your heart was sent for. Sent for Kevin. Y'all didn't hear that? It's sent for Kevin in there.
All right, B. Jones.
No, I'm not gonna brush through that. Hey, so Kev, you be riding your car listening to that song. Sit for Kevin.
Kevin, wanna be the
jamming for years.
Yo,
No.
I do it differently now. Watch, I'll be like, hey.
I never want to hear that song again now.
No, you just ruined the classic.
You did.
You just ruined the legend.
You did. All right, B. Jones, give us some sneakers.
All right, Kev, do the honors for me, man. I'm gonna stay brief with this one, but we didn't have anything of real true interest to me this week, so I did a little bit of a 2-week throwback. The Zoom Freak 2. This is Giannis's sneaker. As you can see, well, you can't see really good from this picture, but in the back, it has a pattern of a lot of different letters, and the letters represent Giannis's difficult name to say in China. So he has a nickname over in China, but based off the Chinese characters, there's so many different letters in order to put it out. Nike thought it'd be a cool little play on words by putting all those letters in the back of the shoe. So I'll be honest, this is not my favorite shoe, although I will say the Giannis Zoom Freak 1s are a classic set of shoes that I really enjoyed. I'm still trying to grow onto the Zoom Freak 2s. So hopefully I'll be able to see them on some on feet and I'll fall in love with them. But they retail at a good price. They still available on all the foot sites, and you can go pretty much anywhere and get these shoes, the Dick's Sporting Goods, the academies, wherever you want to. And also these are very hoopable shoes. But on the other side of the drop, I do want to say give honor to the late, great Kobe Bryant. We celebrated his anniversary of his death yesterday. And if you look around the NBA, a lot of NBA players are wearing these custom-made sneakers in honor of Kobe. So if you get a chance to go to BR Kicks, or if you get an opportunity to go on social media, Joel Embiid had a pair of shoes that was phenomenal. Just go check them out. It's a lot of some sneaks out there, some Kobe editions that are exclusive. And hey, if you can get your hands on them, go grab them.
All right. So it is time for the Manhattan Project. We missed you last week. So what do you have for us this week, girl?
So I really have a ton of things. So it's going to be hard to choose. The first question, it seems newer. So for the mad question asking, there's a picture that surfaced on social media. I know the group saw it. I don't know if the listener saw it, but it was a picture of two little young boys, probably between the ages of like 7 to 10. Were they, I guess, were they boxing? Like boxing, or is it like MMA? Like, what is it? Probably boxing.
Yeah, they were boxing.
Yeah, so they were boxing and they were all beat up. Like their face it was all swollen. And I mean, it looked like they had very good, like that's crazy. Like his nose is all bleeding. So if this is your sons, do y'all allow them to do it? And then like, are you okay with them being beat up this severely? Like you're paying for this to do it.
I mean, in the long run, it may pay off, but they're still in the development stages. Their brain is still developing. So the more pounding is taken, the worse it's setting them up for the future. And then they got to come to my school and I got to deal with it. You know what I'm
saying? That's why you complaining. Okay.
For me, it's a no. Because I don't want my child to be the one that beats up somebody, and then I don't want my child to be the one coming home bloody and the other kid like nothing. So yeah, it's not for me.
Well, I'll go. And I'll tell you straight up, I'm all for this. They both had on headgear. They both had on gloves. I'm sure there was some trained adults around. And I think that what most people don't realize is that boxing teaches you something. Most people who are in some sort of combat sports as a training, whether it's MMA, whether it's boxing, those people have a different level of discipline where they don't overreact and get in fist fights out in the street. They are typically the ones that are more tempered because they understand how powerful they are and what it takes to get there. So these guys are going to understand how tough it is. You can get knocked down, but you got to get back up. And I think this is probably boxing is the one true sport that makes you battle yourself and makes you overcome some stuff. So I understand it's a little squeamish on the eyes, Kim. I understand you're looking at this, you're like, whoa, that's a 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid that's got blooded up. But he didn't die, and a bloody nose ain't gonna never hurt nobody. And I'd rather him learn some lessons through that bloody nose and get better and improve and understand that the world ain't gonna give you nothing. People are out there to get you in every single thing you do. Boxing is just a sport behind it.
Yeah, I am totally in disagreement with that. I just think that you don't know what the impact is. Like you said, like it could build up if everything works out perfectly. But if he's getting hit and you don't know that there's negative consequences to it, then when he does go to middle school, high school, he could be the one that's more violent because it ain't right up here no more because of taking all those shots too. And granted, if he's only doing boxing, but what if he's doing boxing and then he turns on, he also wants to do football, right? I mean, we're just talking about taking more pounding into your head where there's just not enough scientific data, I guess for me, where they've studied kids from that age and, kept studying those kids throughout their teenage and into young adulthood to figure out like what kind of impact it is. If there's something like that and somebody can come and tell me that there's really no impact, sure, then I might be able to look differently. But of course, it isn't great on the eyes. I'm sure most of the kids that do box, it probably doesn't end up being like that. I don't really know too many kids with people. I know obviously KT has a son. I believe he's old enough to be one of those kids. I mean, if he's going to say no, he obviously would have his reasons. And it's not that he doesn't like watching boxing, but that doesn't mean, and it's not like if his son came to him at 17 and said like, hey, Dad, I like watching Errol Spence and I think I want to start boxing. Okay, like maybe we can sit down and figure it out. But I don't know at 8 and 9 if he's going to be like, oh, Daddy's watching boxing all the time, I think I want to go box. Like that's an automatic no for me. It's, like you said, it's just not, you're not developed enough to really start even thinking properly to where, the discipline can be taught. I do believe jiu-jitsu and karate and taekwondo and all those sports, they do teach you discipline. But I just think when it starts getting to the physical side and there's actually, an impact to the point where you can physically see it and you can't even see what's on the inside. Like I would make sure that my son's getting an x-ray done once a year if he's in boxing, because I don't know. I mean, I got to be able to put a stop to that. So if you're
Serge,
on the other side, then sure.
But in all fairness, though, you can say that about any sport. Soccer has the most concussions out of any sport they have out there, and nobody talk about these CAT scans and these CTEs and all of this stuff in soccer. And honestly,
no, because in soccer you're kicking a ball. If you get hit, you get hit. I'm not directly punching you in your face.
Yeah, but soccer has more. But you get they're more brain.
There's a difference, though.
I understand. It's a difference.
Intentionally trying to hit somebody to knock them out. In soccer, you're kicking a damn ball. It is not the same.
But Pam, it's proven scientifically, we're talking about data, that there are more concussions and more injuries in soccer than there are in pugilistic sports like boxing, regardless if you want to say intentional or non-intentional. See, the thing that people don't understand is those boys didn't just get in the ring like that. They were groomed for that. They took a little bit of punishment, but so do you. I see kids bloody nose playing football. I see kids with bloody nose playing basketball. I got bloody noses out there on the field without even wearing pads and things of that nature. That what y'all saying is skipping way too far down the road. But the bottom line is them boys are trained for that.
Before
you get into a boxing ring, Pam, you are training. They teach them defense. They teach them how to take punches. They teach them how to heal.
Kid clearly didn't get his defense on because his face was bloody. He was real good on the defensive now.
If the house get at 73 degrees, my nose may start bleeding. It don't take a lot for a nose to start bleeding. Like I said, the picture looked a lot worse than what it was. And at the end of the day, them boys was meant for that. And you, Serge, I'll say this. You'll pick up very quickly on if your son was built for that. If he get out there and he start taking some blows, you're not finna just sit up there and let your kid get wailed on. You're gonna be like, no,
that's not right. Some parents be like, no, keep going.
Well, I mean, those are idiots. Those are idiots, man.
But yeah, B. Jones, we also see professional boxers that get in there and they're not even ready and they take a beating like that.
But that's their only choice.
Not because they were getting their ass whooped when they were 6 and their brain is messed up and they just continue.
Yeah. So for me, if I had a son, it'd be a no. But we will be playing soccer. But yeah, no boxing, maybe self-defense and like y'all say, what is it? Karate and the
Taekwondo and jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, hey, like KD just said in the comments, they need to stop the fight before a kid looks like that, especially at that age.
Now, to that point, that could have been a bad fight. I mean, I don't know what transpired in that
He's
fight.
standing there like, why am I taking
He was
you said the boy just had a nosebleed. You talking about
the whole time.
That nosebleed could have came off one punch though, Pam.
You know, I think the
quick proven.
that picture, it looks like it's not even in the States. It kind of looks like it's somewhere else in another country. So yeah.
Like people that go to his school have seen that picture float around, and the one that got beat up, they're all pointing at him that, hey, you got beat up. Now he's gonna be one to punch everybody's lights out. He probably can.
You are crazy. If a kid, if they showed a picture of a kid looking like that, find me the kid that's gonna want to get in that boy's face and do something. I guarantee you, they not gonna want no smoke with that kid.
They don't need to do anything. All they need to do is just make fun of him for getting beat up by
somebody else. They're not gonna make fun of him. That's what you missing. They not gonna mess with a boy that sit up there and win the round.
You look like that after a fight, they are gonna mess with you. You are totally wrong. They're not gonna.
Boy took it too.
He got knocked out. They made fun of the whole world.
Nate is a grown ass. Nate is a grown ass man that won 3 slam dunk championships and was talking trash.
They're immature. They're gonna make fun of this kid.
The age we live in, you are sadly mistaken. And my son is not even going to school.
Making fun of Nate Robinson. Hell, we did it. So you know who's gonna do it.
I'm telling you,
little kids not gonna do it.
I'm gonna tell you this. See, I'm gonna tell you, y'all don't know the boxing game, and I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but there's a lot of communities in which boxing is the only outlet for some of these kids. Boxing can get a lot of kids off the streets, and I'm telling you, it's a lot safer than what y'all caught the image of somebody that took a punch to the nose. But I'm telling y'all, they wouldn't let these boys do that. Now, I'm not gonna go into the third world country thing, but I guarantee you there are programs for kids that are going to boxing and they got safe ways and safe protocols. That headgear is thick. What'd he say?
He gonna tear the hell out of that kid.
Didn't KT send a group text last week talking about like these kids in my school are fighting over random stuff, but they setting up fights or something along those lines, right?
That wasn't trained. Those boys might
read the article or whatever from that school or whatever. But my thing is, if it's on social media, it's an easy target. I mean, look at it. We're even talking about it. I'm saying we live in a social media age where kids got access to anything. And if I can use that to make fun of you, people are going to do it. I'm not looking to get into a fight. No. But if I got 4 or 5 people with me to make fun of you, like, we're going to do that. And I'm talking about the day and age we live in. I'm not talking about if it's right or wrong, or the kid is ready for boxing or not. It has nothing to do with that. I'm just saying the consequences are also on the other side of. If they didn't need to take that picture and to put it all over social media to show like, hey, yeah, we're tough. Like, well, my kids are tough. Like, okay, that's
I'll tell you this, Kerry. And I think that was my cousin Corey that said something about he gonna get made hella fun of. I can't remember who said it. Only one person gonna make fun of him. Because as many punches as that boy took, the boy that was on the other end was another boxer that was training. Them boys at his school, they not trained boxers. And I guarantee it's only
Jones, you clearly don't know what it's like to be in elementary then.
I've been in elementary.
Elementary in
2021. Louisiana.
Right.
So you know kids are going to make fun of him, man. It's even worse now with social media.
You don't think he can put hands on them?
The thing is, he's going to probably whoop them.
That's what I say. It's going to be one person that's going to make fun of him, and the rest of them going to leave that alone. I guarantee you.
Somebody going to try it, though. It don't even matter. Somebody going to try it.
It might be one. It might be one. I mean,
that's what we were saying, that he's going to get
T.I. tried Floyd Mayweather. T.I. tried Floyd Mayweather, so you always gonna get tried. Even the kids that don't. I mean, the fat kids gonna get made fun of. The boy that's too soft gonna get made fun of. That little people gonna make fun of you. Crap. That's everywhere. I mean, that's in everything.
And that's what we were saying with social media.
I'm gonna pull him out of boxing because he got a bloody nose. Because kids, get out of here with that. Corey, if you said that, you softish too, man. Get out of here with that.
Like Pam said, you don't have boys. Pam, go ahead to the Uncut Gem.
Okay, yeah, Pam, what's up with your Uncut Gem this
week? Just have a question, and I need the fans in the chat to help with this. Okay, so say you have a new boo. Okay, y'all are dating. Been a couple months. Well, and your birthday's coming up, right? And you and Boo want to go on a trip for your birthday. Who pays for that trip?
Okay, so you said a couple of months. So 2 months.
Couple of months. Let's just say 2 months, and then your birthday's in 6 months. And Boo brings up the birthday trip. Boo says, "Hey, we should go somewhere for your birthday." Who pays for that trip?
If Boo brought it up and it's your birthday, then it should be on him.
Totally and completely on Boo.
It should be on him. But after 2 months and y'all planning stuff like this though for a birthday, I don't know. That's kind of tricky. But if I bring it up, that's like, hey, if I ask you out on a date, I should pay, right?
Okay, all right. So, Jones, I don't even want your opinion just yet. Hold on. What you got?
Ooh, that's tough. I would say that if I'm going to bring it up as an idea, and you also, I mean, clearly I wouldn't think that you would say no, but man, I guess it also kind of depends on how much, money I got to throw around to just pay for everything.
It ain't tricking if you got it.
Yeah, clearly. I don't know. I guess that's a tough one. It all depends on what the expense is looking like. Are we going to,
It's all inclusive. It's all inclusive. So it's nothing to pay for when you get there, unless you want to do a little excursion or something like that. I don't know.
B. Jones, I know one of the comments you're gonna make.
I don't want to get to him yet. KD,
I'm not gonna say nothing.
Okay, so before you said that he brought it up, I would say that both of us have to pay for it.
Agreed.
Since he brought it up, the person that I am, I would still split the cost, but I would definitely be expecting something extra.
Yes, that's obvious. Yeah.
KD said in the comments too. I was gonna bring it up. You already know.
Other than the giving that's expected, I'm expecting something else. Like Pam just said, like an extra excursion. I need you to outdo the room. I don't know. You got to do something.
Yeah.
This is definitely your idea. You brought it up. I'm not expecting you to pay for everything, but I am expecting extra.
I think if like, for example, the example you gave, if the girl I asked offered to just pay for the flight only, and I'll pay, just show up, I take care of everything else, I think that would be kosher. I think that's easily manageable. That's respectable because it's still your birthday. And we maybe aren't at that point where, your money and my money are the same. So where it wouldn't matter. But I think I would at least like to get that offer, even if I'm like, hey, if I got the money to do it, sure. But I can respect a woman for at least wanting to pay for, at least X or Y or Z. And like KT said, as long as it's KT and some of that city girl action too. I mean,
there's gonna be some payments going down.
I mean, if I'm paying half, ain't no city girl action. I can go with my homegirls and pay half. All right, B. Jones, what you got?
So let me ask you a question. Did this happen to you in real life, or is this just
it's an uncut gem? It's an uncut gem. It's
a random question that you just asked into the fan.
Random question. I'm just asking.
I mean, somebody's birthday's in 6 months.
I mean, honestly, but truth be told, I'm not even gonna touch what y'all we all know is fact. And if somebody paying for that, you already know what you're signing up for. So there'll be some cheek clapping going on in that thing. But
hey, y'all already know. Hey, your boy's already taken care of too, so it's gonna be just free shit.
Wait a minute, somebody said once that second stimmy hit, I got it.
Hey, but this is the thing, though. I'm trying to figure out, like, if 2 months into it, I don't know if I would be comfortable with even. You don't even know these people strong enough to be going out of town with them. And honestly, if Serge had came to me and said, "Hey, B, you want to go out and get something to eat?" I'm not assuming that Serge is paying for it. I'm just like, yeah, right. I'll hang out with you. I don't understand how the assumption is that just because a person brings, and all of y'all have said this, if somebody brings the idea up that they financing it, no. So if I just said, hey man, you know what, I think you ought to get a new car, I'm supposed to go buy you a new car. I just ain't.
You take it.
Just because I have a great idea, hey Kev, let's go into business. Let's start a podcast.
But a car is like $24,000 plus.
I mean, but let's say something reasonable. Hey man, let's start a business. Let's start a t-shirt making business, and I'm supposed to be financing the business, even though you go in there have 50 with me. I mean, it could be anything. Just because I come up with an idea, don't mean I'm a finance department.
B. Jones, just go back to the dating thing. If you ask a woman out, Are you gonna pay or expect for her to go half? Y'all going Dutch?
That's well, honestly, it would be smart to go Dutch until you get to know somebody. To pay for somebody something, that's investing in them, and investing in somebody, you already know that you want a return on investment. We all want that ROI.
Yeah, but not on the first date.
We do.
On the first date,
You gotta buy the stock first.
Look, B.
You
Jones.
want an ROI every single
Look,
thing
B.
you
Jones.
do.
Listen,
This is Tesla over here. This is Tesla.
yeah, I totally agree with you, B. Jones. We already know we don't care if a woman sleeps with us on the first night on the date. But
Hold on, man. My wife watching.
I know, come on, man. You know what I'm saying. But
I don't have nothing to do with all that. All I'm saying is for Pam. For Pam, you don't need to be going overseas with nobody who you've been with for 2 months.
We already know. I'm talking about in general for guys. Come on, man.
No, I'm just messing with you.
No, Pam's reaction is, yeah, it's only been 2 months now, but by the time we get there, it'll be 8 by then.
Pam, did he bring this up before or after you did his business plan?
During.
Did y'all do the business plan? He said, you know what? We ought to go out of town.
Yeah, it was during, bro. It was during.
I hate y'all. It was just a question. All right, moving on to the yeet. Boy, it's time for the yeet. That was a good uncut gem. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I'm gonna tell my friend what y'all had said.
Yeah, talk to him. Talk to him.
Pam, just run it back and watch it again for yourself. Get this advice.
Hey, you can show it to him too, by the way.
Whatever. Jones, let's go with the yeet. We late.
All right, check this out. So there's always something that happens in sports. I mean, I could pretty much do a yeet every week or just outstanding sports accolades, but this is a show that's called Sports Life Talk. So we want to talk about our other stuff out there. And last week during the inauguration, we saw, as Biden was being brought in as the president, we saw a powerful, slender, thin, melanin popping young black lady that literally stole the show. If you hadn't heard of this name by now, I challenge you in the next 2 minutes when we get off the air, go look her up and check her out. But she outshined the likes of Lady Gaga, J-Lo, Garth Brooks, and this name is a 22-year-old Amanda Gorman. She is a poet who has accomplished all kind of crazy stuff. She just got signed by the IMG model agency, and yes, she will be performing pregame at the Super Bowl once more. This speech that she gave, at first, it didn't resonate with me the first time as like I thought it was, and then I listened to it again. And go and check out this speech that she gave, or this poem that she did the day of the inauguration while she was rocking nothing but Prada. She got mad swag, mad lyrics. She's crazy. So Amanda Gorman, for being exemplary, exceptional, and excellent at what you do, you deserve a yeet.
All right, y'all. We're gonna wrap this up. Make sure you join us next week because we will have your Super Bowl pregame show going on. Real quick, y'all get one shout out each. KT, who you shouting out?
I'm shouting out to Atlanta, the Purple Ranger. You know, Rita tried to take her out. She fought back.
Yes.
And the Purple Ranger's back. Shout out to Atlanta.
Yes, that's my boo. Hey, boo. B. Jones, what you got?
Shout out to David Culley. But good luck. You just lost your star quarterback. Hopefully that Mickey Loomis can make a deal happen and New Orleans can get Deshaun Watson. But if not, I'll take Matthew Stafford. Let's go.
Search.
Shout out to the Sports Life Talk crew. I think I always give shout outs to either somebody else or something else. So I just want to make sure that I want to spin and make sure that I acknowledge our super crew of Sports Life Talk. Just random memories that keep popping up on my newsfeed. Just like, man, where's the time gone? Obviously coming up on episode number 80 next week, even though we actually have more than the 80 that we've actually done, in the Idaho days. But so just make sure, to acknowledge you guys and that, this is a true definition of family. So thank y'all.
All right, Katie.
So I actually was going to shout out Elena this week too, because she's always reposting our stuff. She's always making videos and tagging us. She's amazing. And, like tonight, she's showing us love. So shout out to you and Dresses and Salted Pretzels. Y'all are the bomb.com.
Send a beer.
And I just want to shout out my crew. Y'all make me laugh. I can't stand now one of y'all, especially these two on the side of me. They Y'all like them brothers I have but never lived with. So y'all just.
There's a reason for that too.
But I love y'all. Y'all get on my nerves, but I love y'all. And with that, we are out. We will see you next week.
I want to be the one who you believe in. Your
Shout out to the parents who got their kids involved.
Tell a friend.
Who leaves when you go.
Lil' baby say I'm fly, she see me. I know I got a drown in the drip, but I double cause I'm tired of the vibe, she clingy. And I don't play around with the wrist, when I get it, you already know the vibe, it's VVs. I swear I feel alive when I'm in the yo into the AM, making vibes on repeat. And I ain't gotta lie, you see these. She said she wanna vibe, she need 3. Each one for my boys, my teamies. Swimming through the riches with my squad, believe me. Iced out Audemars, Philippe's. Big dogs since a gin, know I'm 8. Cook and let them know I'm different raw with the apron. Do this for my sons, I know it's mine for the taking. Lil' baby, look like she the type that be playing. Slide and I skate this. She done me probably thinking who this.